Hey, today's December 7th, 2023. I want to be clear that I'm shutting down my Dr. Humanix YouTube channel, not because I don't think there's need for the Doctor of Humanix, my services. There is more than ever, but there is evidence more than ever that this help and assistance and guidance and mentorship and training won't be taken advantage of. So here's some emails. I'm at a place. I don't know. I did get an email advertising a university. So I wrote to this university. For your Master of Education in Teaching Elementary, I would be interested in a full scholarship and housing. If a scholarship and housing are provided, I can pay my dues in other ways. So what I'm talking about here, for example, is collective learning. What makes us human? I'm talking about community, collaborations, win-win scenarios. Compete in your badminton team. And or tutor other students of the university in case you care about their success. And or offer courses of my own for the university, including some unique, innovative new courses. Are you still interested in my candidacy under these terms? Thank you very kindly, Martin Parizeau. It's a short email because, when you see universities being advertised in this way, your expectations are quite low for that university. So, HU, Manoa College of Education. Aloha, Martin. Thank you for your interest in our program. Unfortunately, we do not have any options to offer full scholarship and housing for those pursuing our program. Please let me know if you have additional questions, and we wish you all the best as you look to further your education. Mahalo, Janet Kim. Now, is it possible they are also, like many parts of the world, a university where they hear that their students, I don't know, I didn't do the research, have a hard time finding housing, and they kind of don't help. And that's why they advertise, right? When they lose students, instead of solving the problem. And it could be, the money would go down if they solve this problem, but it would only go down, really, in their elites who make too much money for what they don't problem solve. But there is a university, actually, that I've been more interested in, and I contacted one PhD program, never got an answer. I tried 2 different emails. One, I think, was generic email of that program, and then the other was of the university. And then I tried later on a different program at that university. And I say, oh, yes, I am. And then I got a response back. Yes, we did receive this email. Just send us more questions kind of thing. And I said, yes, I am interested in your PhD in, okay, blah, blah, blah. Here are some questions. Now, what I ask, again, are showing that I did my research about that specific program. Like, would I fall under this criteria of the program based on my past academics? But, like at the end, I write, my own interest in research is to engage in studies seeking to better identify the mental illnesses that affect not minorities, but majorities. In essence, I seek to better chart the course of the human condition. I include a generic resume and a biographical cover letter from 2001. Well, that's when I wrote it or rewrote it, but it's an older one. It's at least 4 years old, I would say. That type of resume since I came back to Canada, being stuck here again. And the thing is it's possible, because this time I CC'd a person that would fall under, let's say, psychiatry, okay, or mental health or illness in that particular university. Now, it could be this guy doesn't know anything. Mental illness affects minorities. They're outside of the norm. And that's, again, I don't know if that's happened. I don't know. I'll have to find out. Maybe they're on vacation, this university. I don't know. They're in another country. But what if this person says, this guy's an idiot? He doesn't understand the first thing about mental illness. And then I would tell you, you don't understand the first thing about the human condition, and therefore you should not work in psychiatry. Because look at what's happening in the world. Like, watch the news, like the real news, the international news. And I'm telling you, like, Democracy Now! Is an example. You can pick up patterns of what's happening. At the highest levels of people you wouldn't dare diagnose with a mental illness, and yet they apparently do. Oh my God, they're responsible for things, and it's taken, 2 months to do Article 99 or whatever? It's like, come on, man. And the Anthropocene is about what's wrong up here. And now I'm listening to this kind of stuff from PBS Terra. Always beautiful dark-skinned women here. And one of the biggest signs of the forms of mental illness that affect majorities, that is going to be a new trend that's going to be discussed more. It might even be as ridiculous as the next COP is going to be about this. And it'd be a brilliant strategy, because people would be really pissed off this time and not trusting anybody. But if you bring in the concept of geoengineering, then most of you suffering from mental illness that affect majorities and therefore accelerate the types of mental illnesses that are specific to individuals and therefore affected minorities have been skyrocketing too. Like, to actually think that it's a good idea for the species that caused the Anthropocene to now do, they call it here in the title, the riskiest way to save the planet. So we're going to go for risky ways to save the planet instead of contraception and planting trees and putting bad guys in jail. Get the people out of jail if you want to make room that didn't kill as many people as the elites of the world. And, that's a strong message. There'd be a little bit less. But if you look at the politics, let's say in the USA or just people that don't think they're religious, but if you have a conversation with them, my God, their mental illness is religious based. And again, believing in the supernatural, which has no choice but to increase, and believing in the magical, again, are forms of mental illness. How could you overlook this as a species that claims to be this smart? Things that are not real, that disconnect you from the natural world, that make your attempts to self-correct mentally insane more and more as the Anthropocene accelerates. And you have these beautiful ladies with beautiful smiles, who's saying, yeah, it might not be a good idea, but, and then they'll be like, the next COP will be, everybody's excited. Oh my God, we got all these geoengineering. This is industry. This is industry, again, making profits out of your ignorance and your disconnection from reality, and all the types of mental illnesses, the ones that affect minorities and majorities, which is my specialty, by the way. So talk to me, people. And of course, psychiatrists suffer from the types of mental illness that affect majorities. They've helped spread it. Of course they suffer from it. Of course they're not able to... What? You're saying there's mental illnesses that have... Well, how can you... Well, I'll tell you. I'd be wrong if the world was in good shape and our species was in good shape. That's how I would be wrong if there are no types of mental illnesses that affect majorities. I'm going to play a little bit of this.
In 2016, world leaders got together to try and figure out how to slow down the pace of increasing temperatures. The big concept they settled on was something called global net zero emissions, or net zero for short. The basic idea is for every ton of carbon dioxide we emit, we remove a ton from the atmosphere. Picture a bathtub. The water level in the tub is the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and the spout is the amount we're currently emitting. In a perfect world, we could stop emitting the carbon dioxide, but we know that's not going to happen anytime soon. So to keep the water level in the bathtub the same, we need a drain. And that drain is a process called carbon dioxide removal. Carbon dioxide removal comes in many different forms. And amazingly, the Earth already does a decent job of it. Forests and wetlands are what scientists call carbon sinks because of their ability to absorb atmospheric carbon dioxide. Plants capture the carbon dioxide through photosynthesis and store it in their biomass and in the soil. But when it comes to storing carbon, there's something that's even better than forests: the ocean.
Already, the ocean has taken up about 26%.
So this is Sarah R. Cooley, PhD, Director of Climate Science, Ocean Conservancy. Now, if you understand that, let's say, trees, take carbon out of the atmosphere and put it into the ground. Let's say a tree dies. Oh, this tree is terminal. An expert on trees would say, yeah, or these ones are at risk too because of this. And let's say your solution is burning them and releasing. Well, that's kind of what you do with your own bodies. So you can't even manage yourselves. And I'm not saying, every form or every culture kind of burns bodies or cremates them, but there's bombing of people that are dying. There's mass graves, and again, mass grave, if it's deep enough, it is putting it back in the ground. But the thing is you can't even manage your own life and death in a way to prove to me you understand this basic concept. And this is what you have control over, your own lives. But trying to control everything on the planet is a form of mental illness. Now, I haven't finished watching this, and again, I'm repeating what it is if you want to watch it. Geoengineering, The Riskiest Way to Save the Planet by PBS Terra. Okay, and it could be I disagree or agree with some of the things, but again, I'm showing you it's a pattern. It's a pattern of disconnection from who we are, that we're the problem, that we suffer from various forms of human domestication syndromes as the types of mental illnesses that affect majorities. And the proof is there if you just watch the news, that it's not getting better. So if this is the case, okay, that this university isn't going to get back to me because I don't understand what mental illness is, yeah, I'm pretty sure that, I will never find the elusive Homo sapien.